Okay, so hi there. I'm going to start the class now. I was having a conversation with you, Michaela, right? If you're going to watch the class, I imagine you're going to do it. And well, also this is for management. So you showed me that you have, well, an emergency meeting. And well, it's your job, so it's really hard to do something about it. All right, so I get it. And again, you're going to make a decision that you're going to let me know. Also, you're going to let management know, but I'm going to record this class for you. So if you decide to watch these classes and record, right, these tasks when you have the time until this Sunday, and you also record your oral presentation, then I think we're going to be okay, all right? Because we've been working together, and I know that you have the skills and everything that you need, right, to pass the course. So again, it's going to be up to you. If you want to work like that, you let me know. If you want to repeat one more time the model, also you're going to let me know, or mainly you're going to let management know, and they are going to tell me as well what to do. All right. But let's then record this class. Again, it's going to be then very short because the time was going to be to work on your oral presentation, 15 minutes. Let's suppose that that was the time that well, actually, we were waiting and I was right texting you back. And well, the rest of the time to finish the last two tasks that we have for today. Remember that on Wednesday, if you watch the class, we got to cover two tasks for this new test. That is the Cambridge test. And today we have to finish with the last two tasks. All right. It's the same, let's say, structure. So I'm going to give a short review, and we should be okay to continue and to finish with those tasks and to finish with the course, actually, right, and the class. Um, let's go over here to give the short review, and then well, follow the same logic I followed on Wednesday so that you can work with these tasks. So remember that this task is, of course, it's different, but it follows, right, like the same principle. And like talking about the TOEFL task, you have two options and you have to choose one, right, and you have to support that decision. Here, very similarly, actually, you have options, but usually you have also two options. I tell you those two options, actually, right? It's not that you have to tell me now. Actually, sorry, you have two options, you have to pick one, right? So here the same. I show you the options that I got, but not only that, I also give you more information about it. I give you some background, and I give you sometimes the advantages and disadvantages, sometimes only the disadvantages, right? And you can use more of the information that I'm telling you because the TOEFL is only one question and the instruction. But here you have a prompt with a lot of instructions, and also you have this conversation that you should have with the examiner to obtain the answer for those questions, right? They are not always the same, but usually they could repeat, right? And remember, this is B2 actually. I don't know if I mentioned that, but you can see that over there. In B2 level, again, is not the highest for this test. We have a higher level, that is the C2, that's the ECPE. But again, as we are just preparing for kind of a B2 level also, we're working with this. And because it's similar to the TOEFL, and it works also to prepare a good presentation. All right, the C2 is going to be more demanding. We're not going to work on that one. And well, I just wanted to make a comment on that. But all right, I was saying that, right? Similar to the TOEFL, but it has its differences. Here you have this conversation where you are going to get in the information to then give your answer afterwards, right? So the first thing you have to do, right, is to ask questions to the examiner to have that conversation. But in this recording, remember, you only have to record the questions in a different way, right? You have to reformulate the questions using some synonyms, try to make it different. All right, that's the first step. You know that one. Then it says, well, of course, as we're not going to have the conversation, I'm going to read something for you this time, and you have to pay attention again to the options, of course, because you have to pick the best option. And then again, it's not always going to be the same, but most of the time you're going to have at least the disadvantages. And that should be enough for you to make a decision. All right. So again, it depends, right? Because sometimes again, note taking is going to be allowed, sometimes not. Now, here it's the development of your answer. I mean, your opinion on what the best option is. So it's like this, right? First, you give the opinion, or your opinion, sorry, by mentioning what the best option is. Tell why it is the best option, and tell why the other option was not the best, right? So this is also different from the TOEFL, because here you have to not only mention what is the option that you choose, you have to use words that I mentioned myself in this case. And also you have to talk about the other option that you didn't choose and explain why it was not the best option. All right, and that's something that perhaps you don't do or you don't usually do at the TOEFL. But you could do it. I imagine that some people also mention that in a certain way to support the idea for why they believe their answer was the best, right? To say why the other one is not. Okay, but again, usually it's not something that they teach in some strategies, but this is what you have to do here. And then again, the questions that, one more time, I'm not going to be able to ask right now because that should be with interaction. But if you get to have and to take this test, you're going to be asked some questions that are related to that topic. All right. And you should, one more time, you should be concise. You should go straight to the point and answer right what you are required to answer. If you go around and you talk about something that was not mentioned, or it's not important over there for understanding that, well, the answer to that question, again, that's going to be evaluated. Here you have to answer to show that you understand the question, that you can answer to that question properly, that you have the vocabulary and everything you need to answer that without any problems. Okay, so with that, again, that's like a short review that I can give now. We are going to start working with the next two tasks and the last two tasks for today. Remember that we work with the first two over here. Now we have to go to this one. Now this is, if I'm not wrong, a little bit different in terms of the questions and the situation. Yes, look, in the first two, in the situation, it was only something like, I'm your friend and I have a problem, you have to find out what's happening to me and blah, blah, right? But actually here you have the situation that is written. You don't have to find out the problem because you have the problem here. Okay, that's why here you don't have what's the problem. You have these questions. What are the options? What are the advantages of each option? What are the disadvantages of each option? Right, and you know that you have to reformulate these questions to make them more interesting and more appealing, perhaps. But again, this is different, as you can see. The next one, the last one, is going to be the same as the first two. But this is to show you that sometimes it is going to change. All right, but I think that the logic is the same because you have a problem, you have options, and you have characteristics for those options that you can use to give your response. Because remember, you have to choose one of those options, support that with advantages that you're going to have here, and talk about the other option that you didn't choose and support that with disadvantages for that option that you have over here, right? So this information should make it easier for you to answer, or just to develop that answer that it is required from you. Okay, so let's read. That's the first thing we're going to do. We are going to read. Okay, so it says, this is the situation. I am organizing a training conference for managers of local banks, and I am trying to find the right place to have the conference. Find out what my options are, and then give me advice on where you think the conference should be held. Okay, so there you have The again benefit of this prompt is that you have the information over there, and then the information that you have to find out is this, right? The options, the advantages and disadvantages. So you have to ask these questions at the beginning of the 1 minute that you have got, right? And afterwards, you have to do the same. When you have all the information you need, explain which location you have chosen and why. Be ready to explain why you didn't choose the other location. Remember to use information to learn from asking questions to explain your final choice, right? So the same idea. You have to use the words I'm going to tell you to support your decision. Okay, so that's it. Let's work on this one. One more time, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I am only going to read this for you. And let me see where it is. Okay, good. It's here. All right. And yes, don't forget also you have some pictures down below. So as you're watching the class, check that information and take a look at those pictures. Okay, so let me please see these well. Now, you have the situation there, so I'm not going to tell you the problem. You have the problem. Remember, I'm going to tell you the options, the advantages and disadvantages for each option. So this is the first option, an outdoor resort center. The second option, a city auditorium. Now, the advantages for the first option. The facilities are very good. Nice computer projection systems, nice conference rooms. People like to combine work with leisure. Okay, that's for option number one. For option number two, it is nearby, so many more people will be about to attend. It is less expensive. Okay, so those are the advantages for each option. Now the disadvantages. For number one, for option number one, we are afraid that people might attend fewer meetings, because they may go off the golf course, tennis courts, etc. It is quite far also, so it will be expensive to get there, and then the people attending will have to stay overnight. Okay, so those are disadvantages for option number one. Now for option number two, the rooms and equipment are getting old and are really not that nice or reliable. It is not as attractive. Okay, so there you go. Now, again, I'm going to pretend that you are here with me. So I'm going to give you the time that you need. Okay, good. And I'm going to leave you with this information. And remember, these are the pictures I was talking about. This is option number one. This is option number two. Okay, and one more time, the situation. I'm organizing a training conference for managers of local banks. That's important, right? So you need to find a place and, well, you need to think, right, where you think the conference should be held. Okay, so that's what you have to do. And once again, actually, I'm going to leave you with two things, that one and this one, because you can use this structure as well. Okay, so let me please first give you, I'm going to give you 30 seconds, all right, as I was doing, 30 seconds to organize your ideas and to, again, select some words that you're going to mention so that you can see that and read that as you are giving your answer. So 30 seconds, please. Okay, so it is time. Now, please, we're going to have 1 minute. Remember the first 10 seconds for reformulating these questions. Then the rest of the time you can balance that, but you have to say what the option that you choose that you prefer is. Support that preference. Mention words that I mentioned myself. And the same for number two, but in number two, talk about the other option that you don't believe is the best. And once again, right, give some supporting ideas and mention things that I did. All right, and the conclusion, if you have the time, because it feels a little bit more organized. Let's do it, please. 1 minute, and and we're going to continue with the last task. All right, so it's time, and we can continue. All right, so we have one more to go, and that's it. Then I give again last recommendations and details, and we're good to finish with that. So there you go. This is the last one. And as you can see, we are going back to the same idea, but this is a different situation. Here you have the pictures, but let's read. All right, we're going to read again. I don't know why this sometimes doesn't hide. Okay, good. Now, let me read. The same idea, but you always have something interesting that makes you understand better. So it says, I am the mayor of your town and I have a problem. Find out what my problem is and offer me some good advice. Okay, sure. So the same idea. First, you have, in this case, as in the first two right tasks, you have to find out the problem and then give good advice. And here to do it, you're going to have the options that I'm going to tell you and the disadvantages of each option. It means that to support the decision, you should also use like something that you think that you believe you should give your personal opinion. It's not bad, all right? But in the option that you are not choosing, you should use these disadvantages, sorry, because you have to mention something that I am going to mention. All right. So you know the same idea. You know the structure. It's the same. So first, I'm also going to show you these pictures. Option one is related to this picture. Look at that. Okay, and this is option two. Okay, so these pictures should be very useful at the moment of listening and at the moment of giving your answer. So let's do the same. All right, I'm going to uh, once again stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to read this for you. Okay, good. I'm going to read it. Remember, now you're going to listen to the problem, to the options, and to the disadvantages. Okay, so what's the problem? Our town's 100th anniversary is this year, and we want to do something special to celebrate. We have two possible options and can't decide which one to choose. Okay, that's the question, that's the problem. Now, the options. What are the options? Okay, the first option. First, we could build a fountain. in the town center to remember the anniversary. That's number one. Number two, we could plan a weekend festival with music and fireworks to celebrate the event. Okay, so those are the two options. Now let's go to the disadvantages for each option. And actually, it's going to be just one for each option. But let's listen. This is the disadvantage for option number one. It will take time to plan and build the fountain, and it will not be finished until next year, right? So yes, you have one big disadvantage. And number two, after the festival is over, there will be no permanent reminder of the event. And that's the disadvantage for option number two. And there you go. Again, let me close that. Let me share my screen once again. And here we are. All right, so remember, once again, take a look at these pictures. They may help understanding better, right? Or understand better, sorry, this situation, the problem, the options, and everything in general. And once again, you have to you have to give me good advice by choosing one of those options, supporting that decision, and explaining why the other option was not the best. So let's do the same. First, let's have 30 seconds, please, to organize our ideas, to write something that we are going to say. So let's do it, please. 30 seconds to write ideas. Okay, so we surpassed that time, but it's 30 seconds. Now we have, once again, 1 minute, please, to record the answers, the same structure. And this is the situation over here, right? A little bit down below, you have something about those pictures. So let's do it, please. 1 minute to record this response. Okay, so we are done. It means that's it. That was the last task. So again, let me give you some first reminders, recommendations before finishing today's class. All right, because again, we are not working now together so that we can practice some extra things. So I'm just going to give you those reminders and recommendations. All right. So again, with that, we are finishing with the Cambridge test. As you can see, it's not hard. Again, the level is just B2, but it is important to organize our ideas very well. It is important to know how to use the vocabulary, to know how to paraphrase and use right order, um, people's words in general. And that, okay, overall, the idea here is practicing and improving your speaking skills. And that's the purpose, all right? That's the main purpose. So as a reminder, once again, I didn't change this one. No, actually, I did. This is the one down below. Okay, yes. Both, as you can see here, are due today. All right. But as I told you, actually, I'm going to do it now. Both of them are going to be until Sunday. Okay, sorry. Are going to be until Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Actually, Sunday just is going to be Sunday, and that's going to be the whole day, right? The 5th. So you have until that day to upload these two, actually four, right? The two recordings from Wednesday and the two recordings from today. It means each one is going to last 1 minute, right? And each one has a different situation that, like today, right, you have to structure in the same way. Again, of course, before this class, you watched the previous one, so you know what I'm talking about. So first, those four assignments, those four tasks should be uploaded, okay, until Sunday. And also, remember the 9 new words plus the 9 definitions and examples. All right, so those 5 recordings are evaluated in the in-class activities, okay? So that's the first one. And the second one, remember also we had the final oral presentation, right? As you had the emergency story today, well, the option that I'm giving you is to record that presentation. You know how you have to use the camera, you have to be, right, looking at the camera, and again, right, showing me that you're paraphrasing, and everything that you know that I evaluate should be visible over there. Also, you should record your screen to show the presentation. Okay, so it should be like this. You can use, I believe that if you have Zoom, you know that you can record, right, using Zoom, even if you don't have an account or a license, you can record on your computer. So you can use that tool if you want. If you have better tools, well, that's better. All right. But Zoom is enough because I can see the camera, I can see you, and I can see your presentation. Okay. That's what I have to see. But again, the idea is that I'm also going to give you until Sunday if it's possible for you. And again, if it's not possible, please, it's important that you can let me know, of course, but you will let management know to see how you're going to be working with the last details on the course, because as the final oral presentation and these tasks are very important, and the score, right, is going to be defined and determined over there, it is going to be very important to do it. If not, again, analyze some situations with management, and well, they are going to tell me. All right. But again, you should have until Sunday, 11:59 p.m. to upload this video over here. So you have to upload two things: the presentation plus the video. And again, not the video actually here, right? Just the link. You have to upload it, I don't know, to your Google Classroom, right? Or your Google Drive, sorry, or any other place, right, that you use to upload your files. And you have to share that link so that I can watch that video. And again, I'm going to evaluate it in that way. Okay, so again, you should follow all these steps. You know about the steps, you know about the structure. Also, I mentioned that on Wednesday. So take a look at that, plus the rubric that you have over there as well, to be sure that you are following, or you're going to follow all the instructions, and you get to obtain, right, the best score possible. So again, for me, I think that's it. That's what I wanted to mention. Try to see that possibility. All right. Again, I know about your performance, about what you do, and these things happen. All right. Things at work. Sometimes we have some things planned, but you know, right? I understand that situation. So don't worry, Kaela. So it's going to be up to you. All right. It's going to be your decision if you want to just do what I'm telling you here related to this, or if you feel that you want to, again, repeat, you let me know, and mainly you let management know. That should be it. In general, again, I think you did it great. I already gave you recommendations, right, about details, about corrections. So take that into account. Keep practicing. Okay, that's always important. The key to everything, you know, that everybody knows that, is practicing, right? Discipline, practicing, improving our skills, and you have to be surrounded by English. The good thing is that I think in your work, right, you have that context in which you have to speak English, and that's always positive. All right, so that's it. Again, if we get to see, well, each other again in the future because of a possible decision, that's going to be great. All right. If not, once again, keep practicing, keep working like that. You're doing it great. And I hope you, if you take the TOEFL, all right, you do great. I'm sure actually you're going to do it very well. And you know, you can contact me if you have any questions or anything with which I can help you related to English, related to anything that you believe I can help you with. And again, have first, well, a good day. I don't know when you're going to be watching the class. All right, enjoy that rest of the day, and I hope you do everything well. Okay, very well in everything. Mm, that's it. I wanted to say something else, but I believe that's going to be it. All right, just text me, and we're going to be in contact if we are going to keep working together. Bye bye.